Welcome to NL Recess, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us Professor Zorawar Daulet Singh. The latest book, which we will be discussing today, is this one. It's called Power Shift, India-China Relations in a Multipolar World. We'll discuss a bit about this book, about his expertise in India-China affairs. So, Professor Zorawar Daulet Singh, welcome to NL Recess.
Thanks so much, Mehraj.
From your book, what you seem to suggest is that when we talk about the border dispute between India and China, the imagery that comes is that this is this huge over 3,000 kilometer border and all of it is like always in conflict. There's a dispute there, but that's not the case. You're saying that there's only these small parts of the border which are really troubled, and this particular point in eastern Ladakh is one such part. Just explain to our audience who aren't like people like us who are very deeply interested in the subject, what does that exactly matter?
So we shouldn't trivialize the scale of the dispute that India and China have on their frontiers. In fact, purely from their political or their legal standpoints, we're talking of thousands and thousands of kilometers of territory. But because most of this territory is in fairly uninhabitable terrain, high up in the mountains, the Himalayan ranges, there are only pockets where both sides can interact, come into contact, and even friction.
You write in your book, and I quote, this is in the introduction, it says, it's worth pointing out here that unlike most other disputes like the India-Pakistan or Arab-Israeli entanglements or the many disputes in the South and East China Seas, the situation on the India-China border is not one where either side truly covets territory held by the other side. So if we look at all these disputes that have happened since like 1947, 50, 62, all until this time, that doesn't seem to be the case, because I mean, ultimately this is about territory. That's at least what the impression a person who isn't deeply invested in this gets. So how do you say this?
We still don't know if this is only about territory or there's something more to this, right? Are there deeper issues between India and China that are sort of manifesting in the part of the relationship which is the most troubled? So that's one. And I don't think there's a consensus amongst Indians or Chinese, certainly from the Indian side, on what are the causes of why China engaged in this escalation last year. The point that I make in the book is when you look at the larger portions of the dispute, that is Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims, and Aksai Chin, which India claims, I think on those larger areas of the dispute, I don't think either side truly is in a position to both reclaim that territory or even seeking to truly reclaim it by force. Of course, China still claims Arunachal Pradesh. They call it South Tibet at times. India's map shows Aksai Chin on its official declared extent of its sovereignty. But I don't think any Indian policymaker truly entertains reclaiming that area or will even get it in a final settlement with China, and vice versa. I don't think the Chinese will ever get Arunachal Pradesh or even the pockets that they truly value in that. So we are really in a stalemate situation. The reason why the Ladakh sector has seen more sort of friction is...
So you talk about this concept of national egoism. Is this what you mean? Like how these two countries see themselves in the larger geopolitical sphere?
When did we see national egoism convert into dangerous forms of rivalry and sort of the zero-sum form of confrontations? Is really the European experience, right? The First and Second World War. You had these European national identities that simply had no room for the other, had no room for other powers. And I don't think that India and China have reached that stage, and I don't think their identities are in that. But there is a danger.
And now you have this world which sort of like a lot of experts are saying this isn't going to last. In the near future, you will have this different hegemon. Right now you have the United States, then you will have China. Now you have United States, it's a distant hegemon, and it has at least some shared values with you, the democratic values, other values. And now you will have to contend with this other hegemon who is your neighbor, who is in conflict with you and who doesn't share the same values. So how is India preparing for that eventuality or that situation? And if it is, what does that entail? What will it require to deal with that situation?
The Chinese economy, the Chinese state, the Chinese people, I think they've raced far ahead of India across metrics of power on every facet, really. That's a reality. So how should India deal with this? I think they're doing precisely some of the things that you mentioned, that they are trying to sort of look at this relationship with maybe China's other neighbors, which are Japan, Russia, the United States, of course, Southeast Asia, and try and see how they can get some sort of strength from there, whether it investment coming into India, military support, technology, scientific innovation, the whole range. How successful have we been in deriving those kinds of benefits? My recommendation or suggestion is that you can't avoid some sort of economic contact with the Chinese. Even if you seal them off from the Indian economy, even if you import Japanese technology, it'll have Chinese in it, right? Or Vietnam, or Indonesia, or the United States. So if everyone else is doing some sort of interdependence with China, you also have to do it, but maybe a little more strategically. I think that's where we kind of may have lost the way where...
Mufat khoro, muft mein itna hi milega. To watch the full unedited interview, you have to subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. Because when the public pays, the public is served. We depend on you and not on advertisers. So go to www.newslaundry.com/subscription and subscribe and get all our unedited interviews, our special video shows, comics, and everything that's behind the paywall. Remember, to subscribe to News Laundry, you pay just about 10 rupees a day. That's less than, well, no, a cigarette. And smoking is injurious to health. So subscribe and watch the full interview.
He's asking, can we make Tibet, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar as part of our country?
Yeah, how does one respond to that? I mean,
I wanted to ask your opinion on a realistic chance of us seeing Tibet being independent.
How does that sort of position with the global order, with the World Bank and other institutions?
So that blueprint of where India wants to be in, let's say, 2030, 2040, 2050, has to be done by a central authority or more organized consensus happening. So I think India would like more of the multilateral stuff happening where it can shape the rules. But when it comes to national initiatives, you've got to play it differently.
Do you think we have the capacity to deal with it?
So I think there's a strong case to be made for a much more sophisticated state role in India's economic transformation. The fact that we're facing this latest wave and we're still, we should know a lot more than just the tricklets of information that are coming out, right? That lack of urgency, I don't think it's to do with any political party. I think it's just there's something else happening here in India. I don't know what it is, but maybe the News Laundry can figure it out.